Hi, Patrick here, Cheetah Will View. Um, yeah, this is going to be taped for a little bit later. I thought I would share my top, let's go with top 10. We'll do top 10 of 2021 and bottom 10 2021. I only watched 120 movies this year, and that's not a lot to get a top 20, top 20 best movie or top 20 worst movies. So I think doing a 10 and 10 is more than fair. I will tell you the movies that I like the least, and a couple comments, and then there we go. So I didn't have a lot of bad movies this year, not really. Um, I mean, I was blessed for that, blessed for that. Um, I don't know, it's because of the lack of watching them, because the more you watch, the more you're probably going to run across the bad movies. But I didn't run across a whole bunch. Uh, but I will tell you some of the ones I did see that I was just like, yo, painful. All right. Well, the way I do my movies is this: I don't do it by year. So my list is not going to be the best movies that I saw this year in the release in 2021, nor will the bad ones be that I watched in 2021. They're movies that I have never seen before that I watched. So movies that I liked and I rewatched, they won't be on the list. So this is why my list will be all over the place. You're gonna be sitting there going like, well, wait a minute, why is he liking a weird movie like that came out 10 years ago? Because I haven't seen it until now. All right, so some of the bad movies that I saw this year. Uh, oh, the Satanic Nun. Yeah, can't begin to tell you how bad that movie was. One of the sue for my 90 minutes. Um, Instantly knew the plot. As soon as the opening frame came up, you already knew it was going to be, and it was. Um, think Dress to Kill. There you go. Next, I made it through 20 minutes of this movie. 20 minutes. Okay. Um, Restricted Area, starring the Kudooter himself in a role you have to see to believe. Um, yeah, that movie was some hot garbage. I think I lasted a little longer than that. Um, it was stupid. I can't believe how just completely juvenile the whole production was. They actually got it released. There must have been some payola going on. Like, here's $15,000. Put out my movie, or something like that. Because this movie was some hot garbage. Terrible, just absolutely terrible. All right, next up, I actually asked for this movie, but I asked Rob from Wild Eye. I said, I said, hey, me and the Cheetah, we would love to have a crack to review the Ouija mummy, and he said no. He says no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not sending you Ouija mummy because you'll just shit all over it. Now I hadn't even seen the movie. I hadn't even seen it. So I couldn't tell you if I was going to shit on it or not. All I know is it's Ouija Mummy. If it was fun. If it was sort of like if it was a sort of like a fun like Ouija Shark has turned into a cult film type of deal. I can handle that. I'd be all right. Well, I got it sent to me. Someone sent me a copy of Ouija Mummy, and I must say that Rob was right. I was wrong. Rob, this movie is this movie's a pile of horse poo. Um, it's just terrible. Uh, I guess he sort of got an idea that it was going to go south, though. I don't know. With an hour-long running time, let's see the long expositions, the $4 spent on the effects for the mummy, which was toilet paper. I wish I was kidding you on that. I'm not. They used toilet paper for the mummy, and they wanted you to go out there and spend $10 to $12 on this. Okay. Yeah, that was a pile of shit. Let's see. Another one that I didn't like very much. It had no werewolves in it at all. It was called Werewolf Island. Another movie from Wild Eye. I know that they changed the names of the titles of their films to help for the marketplace. I get that. I do. In fact, I just reviewed another movie now that changed its name too, and it's a common thing for Wild Eye. But good Lord, you gotta be able to put a werewolf on your movie if you're gonna advertise it. Same thing with scarecrows. The Werewolf Island has no werewolves on it. None. Not one. Not even a mutt. Not even a puppy. The original title of the movie was called The Legend of Dog Lady Island. But somehow I don't think very many horror fans are going to buy that movie with that title either. It sounds sort of like a kid's movie. Sounds like something you see on Hallmark or something like that. So I understand why they changed the title to it. What I don't understand is they changed the title to Werewolf Island and there's no werewolves. Okay. So what's that number is that? That's 1, 2, 3. That's 4. That's 4. Okay. Next up is Doolittle. And what a perfectly named movie for that. Because this movie did little but sit there and stink up the room. I'm, and the thing is, though, this is like a major feature. Now, I saw this movie get roasted last year in 2020. This movie got roasted. I picked up a copy of mine at the library for $1. So I just didn't think it was going to be that bad. I thought there'd be a lot of people out there hating on Robert Downey Jr., because it happens when you're a big star. Not everybody's going to like what you did. And people are wondering, where's the armor? Where's the armor at? Where's Iron Man at? It's not that kind of movie. Dr. Doolittle, the man who could talk to the animals, should be a perfect movie. It would feature his wit and everything else. Should be light and fluffy, and it's nothing like that. It drags, it's slow, it's ponderous, it's not funny, which is the worst thing of all. You can handle a slow pace, you can handle iffy CGI, but if it's not funny, it's no. So, yeah. All right, so Doolittle made the list. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 5 more to go. One I'll put on the list right now. Just get out of the way. The Trees Have Eyes. Yeah, that movie is maybe not the worst movie I've seen this year, but it is one of the worst movies I did see this year. That movie was hot garbage, and not even a really cute and charming review by the mighty Jennifer Tochi is going to save that movie. That movie is hot mess, terrible movie. Hobbs sort of pointed out that it was the director's first movie. I've seen a lot of directors' first movies. Nothing like that. Not recently. So The Hills Have Eyes makes our bottom 10 list as far as being one of the worst films that me and the Cheetah suffered through this year. I actually got scratched by the Cheetah for that one. All right, so that's 6 films. So we got 4. All right, got 4 more to go. We're gonna go with a surprise. A couple of these are gonna be a little bit surprising to you, but I'm calling you like I see it. I'm calling it like I see it. The movie I'm talking about next, number 7, is Officer Down. Wow, really disappointed here. It's based on a comic book, and it starred Kim Coates, Allison Lohman. Strong cast, and Kim Coates. That guy's cool as hell. I would watch him. If he was painting a room, I watched the paint dry, if he was doing it. But I wouldn't watch Officer Down again, nor would I recommend anybody else do either. It was such a overwhelmingly, they didn't know what it wanted to be. Didn't give Kim Coates very much to do, and that was really the biggest crime. He hardly had very much dialogue in the movie. He's the featured guy, and he doesn't have much dialogue. It's very stylized. It wants to be like a comic book, so it's very stylized. A lot of bright colors, a lot of explosions, and all that other jazz. But overall, this movie had no structure at all to it. No structure, no story, no coherency, misuse of the cast. Just really disappointing. This movie could have been really cool. This could have been a cult favorite too. I would have liked to have seen that because I'm a big Kim Coates fan, and it's very rare that you see him get a lead in a movie. So when you do see it, you really are rooting hard for him that it does well. Next up, it's not going to be a popular choice, but I'm going to just be honest with you and say I will give her I'll give her a hall pass for this. But number 8 is Inoperable, starring Danielle Harris. Ugh, my God, man, it's a yeah. I wish I could have went in there and rescued her. I would. You wanted to go in there and rescue Danielle Harris. Like, don't do it, Danielle. Don't do it. Um, this movie wanted to be like a Groundhog's Day, and it turned into Groundhog Poo Day. Completely, again, a completely incoherent script. Um, Having her, her character keeps on waking up over and over and over, keeps reliving the day, but you don't know why. You never find out why. And then at the very end, all of a sudden, then they throw in this twist that never fits the movie at all. It's never hinted to, it's never alluded to or anything, and it's just like it was almost like you could see the director, the producers, and the writers all grab mud, throw it against the wall, and whatever is stuck, that's what they went with. Horrible use of Danielle Harris. She's really cute in this movie, really cute, and she runs a lot. Danielle Harris is in good shape. If she wasn't, she was after shooting this movie because she runs a lot. So yeah, that was really disappointing for me because that's one of my first real Danielle Harris leads I've actually watched, and I really like her, but I felt really bad for her in this movie. Very much the same thing with Kim Coates with Officer Down. Good actor stuck in a really bad movie. All right, next up, that's like, okay, next up, number nine, Hereditary. Hereditary. That's right. Hereditary was the ninth worst film I watched this year. So I finally watched it. Yep. And I said, okay. Everybody says you got to watch this. You got to watch this. It's been on my shelf for since a few months after it came out. So I watched it. Speechless. Typical A24 overhype. The worst acting performance by Toni Collette I've seen in her career, by far. By far. I swear, if I didn't know better, I would think that it was Al Pacino in Drag from some of his movies in the 80s. All hyperbole, all screaming and yelling. Screaming and yelling is not equal acting. It's not equal dramatics. It just equals someone screaming and yelling. Terribly disappointed in this movie. It's terrible. It's not a good movie at all. It drags. The pacing's terrible. They don't give Gabriel Byrne anything to do. They make his character seem like a total nincompoop. And he's supposed to be a very smart man. He's supposed to be a psychiatrist, and yet he walks around like he's half brain dead. The ending makes no sense. It's dragged out. Everybody talks about the scene at the end of the movie. How creepy it is. Oh my God! If Toni Collette stuck in a corner doing this with a chain, is your idea creepy? You need to see some horror films, because that ain't horror, that ain't creepy, that ain't scary. It's pretty. The reason why people think it is because it's a mainstream. It was released in the mainstream. But us horror fans, we see worse than that in the first 10 minutes of most of the movies we watch. Now, I haven't seen Midsommar yet, so that's on my goal. And my goal is to see that. So I'll give Ari Aster another shot. But as far as Hereditary goes, yeah, hated it. All right, what can we talk about next? All right. I know you're asking me, well, what's he looking for? What's he looking for? Well, I'm looking for the 10th movie to tell you about, to run away from. I'm doing this for my list for my Letterboxd. So yes, I do have 10 movies that did not cut the string, cut it for me. All right. Oh my gosh. See, I didn't watch that too many bad movies. I really didn't. I watched some pretty good, decent ones, and I was really happy about that because. Oh, okay. Let's talk about this one. Though that's not at bottom 10. No, I actually like that movie quite a bit. Okay, I'm gonna revisit this. Uh, I'll revisit this since you guys are all wondering. Okay. Uh, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Not Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. I'm sorry. That's strong. Ha! So you get you guys all panicky right there. Like, what? What did he say? I watched another Scarecrow movie, and I'll tell you what it is. Okay. Wow. Oh, okay. Here's one. Okay, like I said, I didn't watch that a whole lot. Bad movies, I didn't. Here's one I did have a problem with though. It's not necessarily a bad movie, but it could have been a lot better. And that's The Virginian. It's a cowboy movie starring Trace Adkins and Ron Perlman, and this continues a trend in Hollywood where they'll take a popular title of a beloved series and they go and they twist it around. The Virginian was set in the '60s. It ran for 8 years. It was beloved. It was one of the best westerns ever made. It was great. Here in the Virginian, they switched everything around. They made two of the main characters in the series. They made them into the bad guy, and it just didn't work for me. It didn't work for me at all. If you're gonna use the name of a series like that has a long history with its fans, the fans really like to see a continuation of the story. There's a reason why these series are beloved, and not changing them around for shock value is that's something fans don't want to see, especially older fans. Younger fans, they don't know any better, so when they watch it, they won't know really what they're seeing. So they can sit there and watch. Okay, this is a cool movie, but to us older fans, this is the problem we had with SWAT, and we had with Mission Impossible 1 and whatnot. I've discussed that in my review. We like the movies the way we see them when we originally did. The reason why you're remaking them is because the fan base out there wants to see more of those characters. They don't want to see. They want their characters not necessarily to be the same. They can mature and grow and go different paths too, but you can't make them villains. You can't make them killers, and you can't make them murderers. Oh, you can. Sure, it's your movies. That's what you want to do. You want to make, if you want to make Trampus into the main heavy, the right hand man of the evil judge, you go right ahead. But what you're gonna get reviews like this. That's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get people not watching your movie, and you're gonna get people like me who are telling people not to watch your movie because it's horseshit. So, I mean, there you go. That's probably something that I can appreciate you guys making a indie western. I know that's it's a genre that I do enjoy watching very much. I reviewed several of indie westerns, but I did not enjoy The Virginian as much as I should have. I enjoyed the cast. I thought Trace Adkins was great. Of course, Ron Perlman, the lovely Victoria Pratt. I mean, yes, there's a lot to say yay about. But unfortunately, I just didn't like the plot. I didn't like the story. So, and I didn't like the character development, what they did with it. So, The Virginian would be my 10th worst movie of the year. All right, I've already gone 20 minutes with this, so I'm going to cut this down and come back and do my top 10. All right, so stay tuned.